Hello, my name is Brian Schrift, and I'd like to share some of the tips and tricks that I've learned in hosting Zoom meetings. For my Zoom meetings, I usually start out with some housekeeping items first before the agenda. But since this isn't a Zoom meeting and it's a training video, these are some of the topics we're going to cover. These settings can help you to facilitate a more organized and professional meeting and avoid a lot of the please mute your microphone comments that we continue to hear on some of our calls. These are some of the housekeeping items that I've had success with for larger meetings or for trainings. In my professional life, I often host Zoom meetings with several hundred people on, and these are the things that, again, can help to make that experience a little more enjoyable. So right out of the gate, I tell everyone that they're going to be muted, and I disable their microphones so they cannot unmute themselves. For a larger meeting, I'll also sometimes disable webcams because that can help to conserve bandwidth and, again, improve the experience for the participants. I direct people to the chat window for any questions, and I'll keep an eye on that during the meeting. I'll also use Zoom's nonverbal feedback tools. So raised hands, speed up, speed down. Of course, it's always nice to get some applause, but those nonverbal feedback options are nice as the presenter. You see them, and then they can instantly kind of give you a little bit of feedback from those individuals, or you can pause the presentation if you are open to questions with those raised hands. I encourage everyone to make sure their name is displayed properly. And again, for larger meetings, I'll often bring a co-host in that can help do some of the facilitation for me. So keeping an eye on the chat or the raised hands. So again, if you're in the middle of a presentation or a training, then you're not as distracted. Here's an example of a housekeeping slide for a smaller meeting. So this could be, for example, a flotilla meeting. So again, I would set the Zoom meeting to everyone automatically muted upon entry, because you can do that, and then remind people to please mute themselves when not speaking. And again, the same verification that the name is listed and spelled properly for attendance and things of that nature. But again, smaller meetings, you can be less strict because it's easier to control the crowd. When you're in your Zoom meeting, it's really easy to mute everyone. You start by clicking on the participants list, and at the bottom, there's a mute all button that again is staring right at you there. So that's a quick and easy way to mute everyone except yourself. However, that doesn't turn off the ability for the individual to unmute themselves. That can be done by clicking the little menu button to the right of that, the three dots. When you click on that menu button, you get a host of other options. So here is one where the default checkboxes are allow participants to unmute themselves. So if you uncheck that, basically you are disabling that ability for them to unmute, and again, putting more control in your hands as the host. So nonverbal feedback has been really useful for me. It allows me to get feedback while I'm presenting. It's very easy. Thumbs up, clapping hands, of course, those are always good. The slow up, speed up, slow downs. The other thing is, if you do mute everyone, you can put out as the host your ground rules. So hey, if you'd like to ask a question, I'd be happy to unmute yourself. Please raise your hand. So then if a hand is raised, I can click on that user and allow them to unmute themselves while not allowing the entire host of participants the ability to unmute yourself. So again, it puts the control in your hands as the presenter to have a smoother meeting. When scheduling your meeting, there is a video section. You can turn off the participant video by toggling that to off. I don't believe this disables it though. And whenever I was looking through the Zoom settings today, I'm actually not finding a disable video option, which I thought there was, but I could be confusing Zoom and Teams settings because I'm also using Teams a lot more for our meetings. But you can, during the meeting, select more on any participant and stop their video as the presenter. And also for a larger meeting, that could be where the co-host, your number two, comes into play at, doing a little bit of that crowd control. I hope you found some of my tips and tricks helpful. I'm also going to throw a couple links in the comments. One other resource that I found very, very valuable is a Zoom meeting test. Anyone can go and log into this test meeting and do things like check their audio, video, things like that. And also the meeting settings information for Zoom. Zoom has a lot of great support online, tutorials, walkthroughs, videos, the whole 9 yards. So I'd encourage you to take a look at some of those resources as well.